Good morning. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to create a space of support and healing for you. So hopefully something that's shared and something that happens will support you at this time. So while you're coming over, I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. I'm coming to you live from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Sunday the 25th of December here, and it's exactly 7:41 a.m. We've got a bit of wind and the weather has been beautiful, not too hot, just perfect. Much appreciated after quite a long, cold, wet winter. So my intention in being here today, or what I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to pull a healing energy card. And we're going to chat about, or I'll chat about the healing energy card. I've also got my smudge stick. Hi, Canty. I've got my smudge stick here, so I do want to light some sage to help clear the energy, and I've got my chimes as well, so I may smudge first or I may not, and then I'll pull a healing energy card to go. So let's start by pulling a healing energy card. So I trust you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that something shared supports you at this time. So I recommend that you take on board what feels right and what resonates and what fits into your life easily at this time, and let the rest go. So I trust that the best card will find its way to the top of the deck. Oops. I'm using my healing energy cards, deck 1 and 2, which are currently hopefully getting shipped. Seems to be very slow on the printer's end, but they're getting ready for shipping or organising the shipping as we speak, hopefully. So the best healing energy card that the majority of us need now. Hi, Sharon. Yes, it's this Spiral of Grace, card 24. Okay, it's in the Rise category up here, and down here it says, hi Joseph, it says lifting out of karmic patterns, old wounds and the past. Transform fear into love. Let the past go. The pain of the past go, not the good memories. Lighten your load and release separation issues. So this is about moving out of the ties and the wounds and the heaviness, the fear, the stuff that we maybe continue to carry from the past that's weighing us down. So I see this card as like an expansion of the Wheel of Karma. So the Wheel of Karma is like, I imagine it as having a little notch on the wheel, and as things turn on this wheel, as we move through life, we come back to this notch over and over again. And it's like a repetitive pattern, a wound or an issue, a trigger that keeps triggering and keeps coming up. And it's like a record with a scratch on it. And every time we go past that scratch, it scratches and we hear that scratch again. So it's a bit like this rotating wheel, this Wheel of Karma. I really feel like many or several years ago, we've evolved out of that, unless we believe that we're still in it or we're still dealing with our wounds or our it really is the patterns, because these are things that continue to repeat themselves over and over again. You know, when we catch ourselves saying things like, why does this always happen to me? How come this type of person keeps coming into my life? Why do I keep being treated this way? When we catch ourselves saying things and we're knowing on some level that this has happened before, it may be with the same person or the same sort of situation, or it may be a different person, a different situation that triggers the same issue. This is something to really pay attention to, because we get stuck in this rotating loop, this wheel of karma, of things that just keep repeating themselves over and over again throughout life. So I find I don't really need to do it so much now, but in the last few years and prior, when I had an issue triggered, I would sit with that issue and I'd ask myself, when did this start? Or when have I felt this way before? Because sometimes we think it's new because it's new in the moment. It's a new intense feeling or emotion or something at the forefront of our mind. So it's very intense at the time. But if we can ask ourselves, when did this start? Or when have I felt this way before? And then we look at, oh, actually, I felt this way last year. Oh, actually, I felt this way when this situation happened in my past. And when this happened, and when that happened, and I can trace it back to when I was a teenager or something. So I think it's really helpful in regards to healing our past wounds to look or ask ourselves, when did this start? When have I felt this way before? So as we explore things like that in regards to our healing, and as we resolve those issues, so we're not carrying the baggage of them into our present moment and into our future, then I feel we lift up out of that wheel of karma where things repeat themselves in patterns, and we lift up into this spiral of grace. It's an ever-expanding spiral. It's like our path expands instead of just keep spinning around in circles. So we grow, we expand, we rise when we're on this spiral of grace. So where is your path at the moment? Are you going around in circles in general, or are you following a path that's helping you grow, that's helping you expand, that's helping you lift up out of your wounds and your issues from the past that have been holding you back? So this is very uplifting and very much in that rise energy. Let's put it under my tripod because it's quite windy today. And I'm going to look for some matches and we'll light the smudge stick. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it, Joseph? A bit of both. And I think it is like that for a lot of us because, there are some areas that are going pretty well for us in our life, and we may feel like we're expanding and growing and we're challenging ourselves just enough to keep us interested, but not to have us turn away, because I find that there's a level of challenge that I need in life, that I'm thirsty for. If the challenge is too much, if it's too out of my ability, if you like, then I can tend to turn away from it, which is okay. So I like that bit of challenge that expands me, but there's also sometimes areas of our life that are more of a challenge, that do feel like that wheel of karma going around and around. So where are you at? What's most predominant for you right now? I wonder if this will light being so windy. Oh, it might. Okay, let's get ready to do some clearing. So take some nice big breaths. Cockatoos. We have lots of cockatoos here. Okay, so take a nice big breath. Take some nice big breaths. Settle into your breathing as we ask this sacred smoke to wash over our bodies and carry away with it all negative energies, entities, cords, hooks, attacks and attachments. Anything we're holding on too tightly to that's got no room to heal, let's let it go. And let it go and let it go. Let's recognize those patterns that we may be keeping in place unconsciously. Recognize them, resolve them, and move forward. And so it is. Okay, let's get this guy out. Okay, let's play the chimes for a few minutes. Again, please excuse my tattered box. I might make one out of clay one day. Okay, so I'm going to play the chimes. I trust that the sounds come through loud and clear, and that the sound of the chimes supports you and holds you. And maybe with this Spiral of Grace card, it's very much about lifting up. So if you're feeling a bit heavy and like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, or you're carrying a bunch of issues, and you're feeling heavy in your body and heavy in yourself, maybe think of the chimes as a way to help lift you up, or at least help you straighten up your spine, square up your shoulders, lift up your head, and feel a sense of upliftment come through in your body. And then you can take that further if you like, and imagine expanding yourself even further. And as you do that, you're sort of pulling yourself up and out of that heaviness as well. So you can work with your breathing to help sort of inflate you, if you like, especially if you've been feeling deflated, and listen to the chimes and allow them to uplift you as well if you need that. Or if there's something else more important to you that you need, I trust you receive it from the chimes. So you can't do anything wrong, just take some deep breaths, listen and feel. Excuse me. Ah, yes, beautiful. I love the chimes, and very much aligned, or very much drawn to playing up to the crown chakra. So the crown chakra, our center for connections to the world beyond the physical, connections to ourselves, our loved ones, our life, and coming up through the heart. So feeling that connection through the heart is something that we genuinely feel, rather than think we should feel, but that's something we genuinely feel. So beautiful. If you just joined in, I was playing the chimes with this card in mind. It's Spiral of Grace, uplifting. So I trust this has supported you. I'm going to pull a card to go. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you would like to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. If you would like to learn more about me and the work I do here at Temple of Balance, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. I think this is the first time I've actually done a live stream outside, especially this time of the day, but I think outside here in our new home. So it feels really nice to be outside. I'm doing a lot of home reno at the moment and extending my paved area here that I'm sitting on, so on my courtyard. So it feels really nice to be really connected to nature and to the earth and to my home here, which is something that I'm really resonating with. And then behind me, I don't know if you can see it because I don't know what's in the background because it's a bit bright, but my art studio / old garage is being sorted, which is really exciting as well for me. So that's getting very close to being usable. So it's really nice having nice weather and lots of daylight this time of the year to enjoy such things. So let's grab a card to go. So I'm looking for the best card that the majority of us need now to move forward from here. So how can we carry what we've connected with personally into our everyday life? How can we stay maybe a little bit uplifted instead of being pulled down or weighed down often, perhaps, if that's how you feel? What is it that we need to know moving forward? So the best card for what's next for the majority of us is this. It's this here. Oh, hello again. Oh, no, it's not the card I thought it was. It's card 40 called Sacred Love. That's interesting. I didn't realise. I thought this was Third Eye Opening, which is kind of similar upside down. It's card 40, Sacred Love. It's in the depth category, so this card's pulling us deeper. The other card, Spiral of Grace, was in the rise category. So that was trying to help uplift us and pull us up. This is helping us go deeper into ourselves. And down here it says, take your self-love to deeper levels. Improvement in your relationships, including your relationship with yourself. Explore, go inward, and initiation. Yeah, it does have an initiation feeling, which is what linked me up with that other card. So it feels like it's being pulled inward now. So hopefully you're feeling a little bit uplifted, a little bit less heavier or lighter than you did before. And now as we're feeling hopefully lighter, we're now being called to go inward. So to pull the energy in now. So pull it into our heart, but I really feel pulling it into this upper part of our body. So our heart, our throat, our third eye especially. So coming into our hearts and seeing and feeling and connecting with what does our heart want? What does our heart feel? What does our heart need? Maybe it needs some healing, some heart healing if you feel pained or wounded in your heart. Maybe your heart is calling you to get to know yourself better. Maybe your heart is calling you into your life to help you feel more of a love for life. Maybe your throat is calling you into being more open and expressive in your communications. Maybe your throat is calling you into yourself to help you get to know the truth of who you are. Maybe your third eye is calling you inward to help you connect further with your intuition and to help you trust more in your intuition, but trust more in yourself, the decisions that you are making, the impulses to a degree that you have to do things or go places or say what you need to say or be in the right moment at the right time. Are you being tested with your ability to trust in yourself? So this card, so I'm feeling this pull here in these upper couple of chakras here. But this card's very much about taking our connection with ourselves deeper. Sacred love. This is like self-love, but amplified. Self-love, deeper. So we talk a lot about self-love. A lot of people talk about it these days, and a lot of the words I hear about self-love don't seem to be that real or tangible or physical or practical or even reasonable in some ways. They're a bit pie in the sky, a bit airy-fairy, a bit abstract. So I feel like whatever level that you're at or you're feeling with your self-love, you might not even call it that, your self-connection or how you see yourself, your self-worthiness, your self-acceptance, it's all really in the same similar energy. However you're feeling that right now, how can you take it deeper moving forward? How can you connect further and deeper with yourself through your heart, through your throat and your truth, through your third eye and your ability to trust in yourself? And it almost feels like this energy wants to come down from the third eye, so trusting in ourselves, down through the throat where we bring that truth down and sink it and anchor it down here in our heart. And maybe through anchoring it in the heart, we also take and drop that energy down further into our body, maybe down into our pelvis, down into our feet, down into the earth. So how far down, how deep can you take your connection with yourself in this next sort of day or so? And how might you do that? How might I do that if you've got no idea how to do it? It's kind of difficult to explain. I think for me, I hold the intention. So I have that intention and that feeling of like what I'm describing now. I work with my breath to help me connect, and I sit quietly with myself. And I listen and I feel and I connect, and I want to sink deeper into my body, into my breath, into myself, into my heart, down into the earth. So I imagine myself being drawn down, pulled down like a magnet or a vacuum is sucking me down, but it feels right. It feels good. And when I'm in that space of depth, I tend to be very contemplative, very reflective, very sort of I'm thinking a lot and feeling a lot. I might be writing a lot. I might not be saying a lot. I might not be feeling like I want to speak yet, because it's sort of it's a deep feeling. You know those deep feelings you have that are very difficult to explain in words? Well, that's the energy that I want to connect with, and I don't want to be limited by thinking that I can only go as deep as my language allows. This is why I love creating, because creating allows me to tap into that deep energy without the need for words. So don't feel that you've always got to have words to describe the level that you're at. Sometimes the words come, sometimes they don't. So that deep energy I'm talking about, that deep sense of sacred love, that deep sense of self-love, that deep sense of connection, it's usually deeper than our language allows. So it is a space that feels mysterious and in some ways dark, because it feels like the deep inner oceans to me, like deep inside the ocean, deep inside the earth. It feels a bit dark, but it feels it's the unknown. It doesn't feel scary to me. It feels mysterious, and it calls me, it entices me. But I don't want to halt the energy because of the language that I can't use to describe it at the time. So I sit with the feeling and I take the feeling deeper. So I hope and trust that might help you as you go deeper into yourself, if that's something that you want to do, to get to know who you are, what you want, what makes you tick, and all that stuff. So sacred love moving forward, moving into ourselves and down. So thank you so much for connecting today. Have a great rest of your day. Happy Christmas if you celebrate. And I will see you again soon. Take care of yourself. And goodbye for now. Namaste.